will surprise the audience with an active, energetic, and exciting fight. But of course, both fighters were trying to sell tickets and pay-per-view subscriptions prior to the fight, so you would expect them to say that. What fans who suspect the worst are looking for is two defensive fighters polishing their defensive styles against each other. And now here's Hopkins going to the body inside as Wright clinches Hopkins' left glove on the side away from the referee Bird. What, Emmanuel, will Hopkins do to nullify Winky Wright's rat-a-tat right jab, which so bedeviled Trinidad and Jermaine Taylor?
Both guys are fighting a little bit different than I normally, because normally Winky doesn't be bending over that much himself, and Bernard is, I'm trying to get the feel of the styles. It's very difficult right now. But I think that Bernard is really trying to throw a punch, run in his smother like he usually does, but he seems to be a little bit slower. I see a big reduction in Bernard's speed. With both of them. In fact, both of them.
Bernard's a light heavyweight.
Yeah.
And light heavyweight and settled on his feet.
And the age factor, I think, for both of them.
When Winky Wright has been boring or less than dramatic in recent years, it's been because he's been too dominant. The fight's too one-sided, as he was against Trinidad. But when the fighter is of equal skill to Winky or equal effectiveness like Jermaine Taylor, the fights have been kind of exciting, actually. He's been much more offensively prolific. He moves his hands much more nowadays than he used to, Winky Wright.
At least as exciting as fights can be without the prospect of a knockout. That's what would really surprise the crowd here, is if one of these guys happened to go down and Bernard Hopkins just landed a sharp right hand over the top.
Yeah, Bernard is fighting this. He's moving away, moving around, and then he throws a punch and runs in and smothers you and ties you up right at the same time. And Winky can't get his rhythm to going now.
Yeah, Hopkins making clear that his feet and his legs are the key to his defensive attitude against Wright.
Right, he's not going straight back to the ropes because Winky doesn't fight that good at a distance. His legs have been showing a lot of wear and tear recently, and Bernard is taking advantage of that.
Hopkins throws one right hand and then grabs Wright and pulls him to his chest.
When Hopkins has been boring in recent years, it's because he's been more concerned with nullifying the opponent's offense than creating offense of his own. And so far, I think that's what we're seeing here.
But Winky Wright hasn't been able to get that repeating jab going here in round number one. And therefore, the scuffle looks so far more like a Bernard Hopkins kind of a fight than a Winky Wright kind of a fight. An uneven, rhythmless, difficult affair. The kind of fight of which Hopkins has been the master.
Put the left hand behind the jab. More 1-2s all day. He's open for it.
Take that here.
Relax, Wink. Relax.
Everything's good. Breathe deep.
Yeah. On his eye. Be first, Winky. Don't let him. He's too sneaky. Be first whenever possible. And more left hands. More left hands. Rip inside.
First punch.
Turn him into the hook after the right hand, okay? Not single punches, combinations, okay?
Nice and relax. Keep those feet. Go to the body. I know. Nice and relax. You're doing good.
Here you see Winky Wright just trying to find some way to get a sustained attack coming in and get caught with a right hand from Bernard, which was probably the best and maybe the only clean punch of the entire round, which meant that Bernard probably won that round off of that one punch.
Combi box numbers in round one. Hopkins 10 of 41, Wright 10 out of 44. I totally agree with you, Emmanuel. That right hand was eye-catching enough that it probably brought the round into Hopkins' corner. And listening to Dan Birmingham talking to Winky Wright between rounds, I get the impression that Birmingham understands they're not going to be able to dominate this fight with their jab. He needs Winky Wright to throw and land left hands.
Yep, because all that Bernard's going to do is move away and throw a right hand and run in and do just what he's doing now. And smother him with his left shoulder.
Bernard, stop. Stop. Bernard, you're holding him. Stop it. Let's go.
Chopping little right hand inside by Winky Wright. Good left inside by Wright. Hopkins once again gets himself wrapped around Wright somehow. Robert Byrd has already warned Hopkins for holding. Wright getting his right glove up and blocking Bernard Hopkins' left hook.
Well, I get Winky, good credit, he's putting a lot of pressure on Bernard. If Bernard is going to try to use his legs to step away, step left or right, he's going to have to do it because Winky is walking him down.
Great right hand for Hopkins, a grinning right.
Free up your hand.
Starting to move more toward the kind of rhythm he wants to establish.
You got to give Winky Wright a lot of credit. A guy who spent most of his career at junior middleweight, not a big puncher, a guy who's been criticized as having having his legs really not being what they once were, is walking down and forcing the fight against a bigger, more natural light heavyweight.
There was a sharp right hand in there by Winky Wright.
Well, Winky Wright now is really pushing the fight. If he doesn't get caught with some of those little sneaky right-hand leads that Bernard is trying to lead, he'll do very well. Because Bernard finishes up almost every right hand with the left shoulder.
Wright doing everything possible to try to keep his hands moving, let them go, pumping to the body when he gets inside. Another good quick right hand there by Winky Wright. Hopkins has landed some rights and lefts in return this round, but nothing particularly eye-catching. There's a lot of grabbing and walking and holding and pushing.
Like old fighters do.
As we expected would be the case.
I got you. Stop! Let him out. Step out. All right.
Hopkins, who averaged only 19 punches thrown per round in the first half of his first fight with Jermaine Taylor, and generally has averaged about 35 punches per round in recent years, got off 44 in the first round, has thrown more than 40 in this round. So Wright has succeeded in stepping Hopkins' work rate up just a little bit. Will that create some opportunities for him? Kind of remains to be seen. The second round seems to have been a little bit more what Winky Wright and Dan Birmingham might have had in mind.
Yeah, I think I would give that round to Winky.
He's trying to run numbers on you. He's trying to run numbers. You're getting landing the cleaner shots, but he's running numbers on you. Run them numbers back on the inside. You don't have to load up. Nice work. Nice work. Drop the left hand down a little bit. You're coming up too high. He's dropping. Every time you punch, he's dropping down.
Double that shot up and then get out to the side, okay? Remember, don't move straight back with this fella, okay? This man, okay? You move back in a straight line, you'll be on the end of the shot, okay? You move off in the angle, okay? Just like we did in the gym, okay? Mind, fun. You're smarter than this guy, okay? Keep turning them after your combination. Beautiful, okay? Everything's working. The body shot, the jab put together.
Let him rush.
Good job.
At your own pace. Trying to rush. Cut it out, mouthpiece.
Jabs through the second round. Hopkins 1 out of 15, and you heard Freddie Roach say the jab is working. Landed 1 out of 15 by CompuBox count. Winky Wright 12 out of 44. Hopkins with an advantage in power connects. 17 to 11.
Bad cut. But bad.
And that's what happens sometimes between a southpaw and a conventional fighter.
Well, the thing is, Bernard has a history of headbutts in fights, and that's what even Jamal fighters, and that's the main concern that Winky's had going into this fight, that he's complained about continually about Bernard's head.
Wright has very prominent eyebrows, and he said to us yesterday in the fighter meeting, I'm as concerned about his head as about anything else.
Bernard was grinning when he walked away. He was grinning.
Let's go.
So now with blood coming from above the left eye of Winky Wright, they go back to fighting in round number 3. Great right hand by Hopkins.
Watch your head. Watch your head. Both of them.
And almost came together again.
Go. Box. Watch your head.
Get the impression Robert Byrd is going to have a lot of work to do in this fight tonight.
Yeah, this is a very tough fight, so I knew it going for a referee, because Bernard runs in with his head down all the time. That's actually a big part of his attack.
You know, there is a way where you can get away with it, and Bernard does it. Hey, my head is coming in with my hands. If your face happens to be there, that's not my fault.
Common complaint of heavyweight opponents against Evander Holyfield for years and years. First I get the left hook, then I get his head. With Hopkins, it's usually the right, followed by the head.
All right, stop. Step out. Step out.
It's been an ugly scratch and sniff round number 3.
But, you know, it's interesting. Even when they throw their punches, they're more like throwing punches trying to get points.
Threw one with some authority there. Bernard did.
Stop! Come on, guys.
Robert Byrd urging the two fighters, come on, guys, as if to say, let's have some clean punching here.
I got you.
Wright got in a right and a left hand before once again they came together. Hopkins missing with that short left hook.
Come on, guys.
Manuel, what do you think of Winky's legs so far? Bernard was alluding to Winky's legs when we were talking to him yesterday. How do Winky's legs look to you?
Well, they don't look good. That's when I was given instruction when he fought Jermaine Taylor, where I kept telling Jermaine, keep him in the center of the ring, because Jermaine would beat him in the center because I knew he has bad legs. But when you're closer, they can get you in the ropes like that. Winky's very effective, but he doesn't have the legs that he used to have.
Bernard Hopkins scored with a straight right hand. Wright came back with a good flush straight left. Then they scuffled again in one of those exchanges where nothing clean seems to land. Wright turns to talk to Byrd. Hopkins tries to jump him with a right hand. There's a lot of blood over the left eye of Winky Wright. Not a pretty picture.
Give me this.
Give me a look, Winky. You're going to work. You're going to work that go.
He's okay.
We fucking rip. We got to get dog with him, Wink. We got to get dog.
He's telling him about the...
He don't do that shit.
Box him on the outside, Wink. Use your legs and box this guy on the outside. Box him on the outside. You know what I'm saying? Run away this guy. Come on.
Here you see Winky come in, miss on the left, and here you see Bernard come right back, and there's when you saw the headbutt.
Hopkins, of course, would say, hey, all I did was turn my shoulder into him. He's the one who put his head on mine. And it's always an argument in a case like that. Punches in round 3. Hopkins 14 out of 45. Wright 12 out of 51. Hopkins with a 12-7 advantage in power connects, according to CompuBox. Difficult round to score, as many of these rounds figure to be. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Hutchinson, 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Ronald Winky Wright. Jim, I got to tell you something. I think Bernard Hopkins is holding like men. He held in round 2. He held in round 3. He's going backwards, running away, and then he grabs Winky, and Robert Byrd hasn't said a word about it. I think he's getting away with murder as far as holding goes. Winky's doing the punching, and he's not grabbing. 2-1, Winky.
Let me correct one thing. Byrd did warn Hopkins once for holding, so he has said something about it once. I'm sure, Harold, you would like to see him say something more often than once. But, of course, Byrd has a lot to watch out for here, given the possibility of headbutts between the southpaw Wright and the conventional fighter Hopkins.
You know, for a halting, ugly, fouling kind of fight, it ain't half bad.
No, it's not. And Bernard's legs is not as fast as I thought, so that's why the fight is good. I think if he can move fast, it would be a boring fight. But right now, he cannot move too fast, and Wick is closing the gap. And now he's becoming more of a stationary target, which is what Winky fights his best at.
Now, it was interesting. One member of Winky Wright's corner was screaming at him because of the headbutt, saying, you got to jump him, you got to dog him, you got to show him he can't do that. But the cooler head was trainer Dan Birmingham, who said, box him from the outside. That's what you can do.
But Bernard is very dangerous still, because he backs back, and then he's catching. He's trying to catch. See that? Those are just like point-getting punches, not really power punches. But he throws a good little right uppercut that he's trying to catch Winky with.
Winky is blocking most of what Bernard throws, because Bernard is throwing from straight on and not developing the angles that he said he could create through the fight.
Well, I say this Winky is making him fight a much more stationary fight than Bernard intended.
We're watching 2 future Hall of Famers, 2 legitimately great fighters, and there's a lot of subtle skill going on, defensively and offensively, to compensate for their diminished speed and reflexes and athleticism.
decision. Hopkins doesn't land enough showy, eye-catching punches to be able to score evenly with Winky Wright. We mentioned Bernard Hopkins and his relationship with Nassim Richardson, who was his trainer against Jermaine Taylor and his trainer in the fight against Antonio Tarver last summer. Richardson had a stroke a few months ago, was not able to supervise Hopkins' training camp as would normally have been the case. So he's in the corner, he's being paid for the fight, but the primary trainer tonight on a one-time only basis is Freddie Roach.
Dead, it ain't gonna bleed no more.
When you hit it with a good shot, Wink, follow up.
Hit that body and be ready for that counter. Use your legs a little more, Wink. Use your legs. Relax. You got this.
My feet.
CompuBox numbers in the fourth round. Hopkins 7 out of 44. Wright 15 out of 63. Wright 9-7 power connect advantage. And again, as I said at the end of the round, Hopkins doesn't land cleanly enough or showily enough most of the time to match what Wright is able to do in scoring. Winky Wright's not going to hurt anybody the way he punches, but he knows how to show the judges a clean landed punch.
Watch your heads, watch your
I
heads.
think he hurts people a little bit more than he's given credit for. And I also think, Jim, that he's actually
Watch your
winning
feet,
these
guys, watch your
rounds.
feet.
He's actually landing more punches. Winky Wright, that is.
I agree.
But Bernard might settle down and start trying to get some power punches, Jen, like right there.
Good right hand by Bernard Hopkins
okay.
inside.
I can see his steady as a man. I see he's trying to land punches.
Pick him up, Bernie. Pick him up, pick him up, pick him
Bernard,
up.
you got to watch his right hand, his left shoulder, and his head. Those are the three things you have to watch for all the time. And he's trying to land a good power punch, but most of his punches are just little tit-tat punches.
What do his shoulder, head, and right hand tell you?
Let him out. Come out, come out, come out, come out, come out, come out, come out.
How can you tell when he's getting ready to measure Winky for the right hand?
He's trying to land a good power punch for the most part, but he's just trying to get points. And then all along the way, he's still trying to get in that little. He'll move from you and get you so carried away with trying to catch him, and then he'd run in and throw the right hand and duck his head at the same time, and he'll catch
Like
you.
that.
Yeah, and he'll catch you unexpectedly.
Good left hand by Wright. Hopkins with a chopping right over the top. Wright covering up and blocking Hopkins' assault there. Wright covering up and blocking again. Wright covering up and blocking again. The unique style of Winky Wright, who puts up a medieval guard with his right hand in front of his entire upper body and comes forward in a defensive pose. Sometimes, just to make sure the judges understand, Wright will shake his head following the opponent's flurry to make clear nothing landed.
But Bernard is fighting a smart rounder. He's moving a lot with his legs, moving, throwing his little point, getting punches real quick, tying him up.
Let him go, Bernard. Let him go.
Probably winning this round.
Stop, I got you.
Blood beginning to trickle again from the cut above Winky Wright's left eye. Once again, that came from a headbutt in the second round.
Don't lean on, drop. I got you. That's all, guys. That's all.
We're in Tacoma, Washington at the Emerald Queen Casino, where tonight on Boxing After Dark, we have Vernon Forrest and Carlos Baldomir in a 12-round, 154-pound showdown. A short time ago, Larry Merchant caught up with Vernon Forrest.
Vernon, you saw how Mayweather shut down Baldomir. Can you do the same or better?
I think I can do better. I'm looking for this fight to do better. I thought Mayweather fought a tremendous fight, but I think I can do it slightly bit better than he did.
Do you need just to win this fight or to win it convincingly to push ahead in your career?
I think I need to win it convincingly, and I intend on doing that. I've trained very, very hard to win an exciting, convincing fight, and I intend on doing it tonight.
Thank you, Vernon. Good luck.
We'll find out if Vernon Forrest can do it against Carlos Baldomir later tonight, but now back to Hopkins and Wright.
Right, Wink. That cut ain't shit. Ref, we got it. Ain't even bleed. That ain't shit. We done been straight. We done been cut worse than that in a kiddie fight. That ain't nothing. Keep fighting, champ. You're doing good.
Bend your knees. Don't follow that jab. Start snapping that jab in that left hand. More one. You got more 1-2s. Otherwise, he's gonna counter you with that right hand. If you land a left hand on him, you'll be safe. Okay.
Okay, now here. Get back to your fence. Okay, you're losing the game plan. All right? You can't just jump in with this guy. If you feint him, it's easier. You feint him, it's easier, right?
Yep.
Use your feints and your head movement, son, okay? And the shoulder movement, okay? Don't be a still target in front of him. Feint, head movement, open him up with them. All right? He'll reach for everything, I promise you. Okay? All right? He's going to reach for your jab, and the hook's going to be right there.
I got you, coach. All right.
CompuBox numbers showed Winky Wright doubling Bernard Hopkins' number of connects in the last round. Now, you heard Emmanuel Stewart praising Hopkins for fighting a smart round and suggesting maybe he won it. But I think that Wright lands more and cleaner punches.
But I think Bernard is moving around. He's got Winky turning and pivoting a lot. And, you know, I just thought the last round, I thought that Bernard may have got the round because of this little point getting punches he throws, even though they're not that hard.
Bernard said before the fight that he was going to use Winky Wright's best weapons against him. Winky Wright's best weapons being his turtle defense with the arms up and the elbows tucked and the steady right jab. Bernard thought he would use them against Winky by moving around him, using his legs, giving him angles, countering off the jab. It hasn't worked out that way so far for Bernard.
Because Wright isn't using the jab that freely and is fighting more with a straight left hand and inside punches.
Watch your head.
Giving Hopkins different looks.
And maybe Bernard's legs aren't quite the advantage he thought they would be compared to Winky's legs.
Round 6 of the scheduled 12. Amazing that we're almost halfway through already.
How about you, Hook? I got you. Step out. Step back.
And as long as that's what's going on, nothing's going on.
Stop! Stop! Stop when I say stop, stop.
Winky Wright perfectly happy to go inside with Bernard Hopkins and trade inside game with the most knowledgeable inside fighter in the sport.
Get off his head.
The last round, Bernard moved a lot more. This round, he's fighting more stationary, and Winky's having a much better round.
Come on, guys. Free up your hand. Stop, 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 stop.
Maybe at this age, your legs should only let you move for one round, and you have to rest it another round.
Good combination from Bernard.
A lot of it blocked by Wright, though.
Yeah,
He's always got those gloves up.
I thought I saw some sweat flying off of Winky's head.
You know, listening to the three of us, we find it hard to agree on what we're seeing. You can only imagine how difficult it is for three judges sitting on three separate sides of the ring.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Stop, 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 stop.
In terms of the way this is playing out, the fear that neither guy would be able to impose himself, and whoever gets the decision, the other will complain, seems to be realized so far.
I got you.
And the harder the rounds are to score,
listen for the bell.
In my experience, the more often there are at least hints of political implications in the scoring. Because judges have to hang their hats on something.
He's blaming the shit out of me, man. 3-4 times this round.
And he hitting and holding.
Guys,
We cool, though.
Listen to me. You're coming in, too. Okay, you're coming in, too.
Watch him, man.
Don't let it get wet.
That's right, Wink. Down the rim.
Okay.
Don't play no more, Colonel.
Driving, Doc.
Don't play no more like you did the last round before.
Right here.
On my head. Keep it on my head.
Little angles in front of him, you hear me? All right? Start turning him into those body shots.
And he hitting and holding.
Guys,
We cool, though.
listen to me.
Come on, Wink. Let's go. Come on, baby boy. All right. Okay. Watch him, man. Don't let it get wet. Let's fight, Wink.
Come on, champ.
Make it a dog fight, Wink. Let's go.
Halfway through to the 12-round limit between Winky Wright and Bernard Hopkins in the 6th round CompuBox round. Hopkins 15 out of 60 and Wright 16 out of 57. Harold Letterman, how do you have it halfway through?
Look at Jim. 4 rounds to 2. 58.
No. I got you.
Ronald Winky Wright. Jim, I still think Bernard Hopkins is getting a lot of credit, and he's doing a lot of holding.
Let him go.
And the truth of the matter is, Winky's landing the cleaner shots. I wish the devil Robert Bird would tell Bernard Hopkins to stop holding so much. Interestingly enough, in round 6, Bernard Hopkins started to breathe through his mouth. His mouth is wide open. I got a funny feeling he's not in great shape. I mean, he never fought like that with his mouth open, but he is. 4 to 2, Winky Wright.
Well, that was a good exchange for Hopkins, and he landed a chopping right hand. And there's another clean right hand on the jaw of Winky Wright inside. Now Wright lands a solid left hand, and Hopkins takes a look at Bird as if to say, wait a minute, how about him butting me?
So far, Hopkins' best weapon other than his head has been that counter right hand that he lands cleanly occasionally and hard.
Yeah, and sometimes he shoots it hard with power. Sometimes he shoots it with point combinations, but he does change up on it.
Incidentally, the crowd may be most instrumental in getting Hopkins not to hold, as Bird once again warns Hopkins there has been no point deduction so far. Wright gets in a solid right, Hopkins gets in a quick right hand. Wright nods at Hopkins as if to say, okay, you landed one right-hand shot. I'm coming right back at you.
But Bernard is moving enough where we can't really get him in the corner and get a good flurry off.
Stop.
Looked to me as though Bernard landed several good shots in that exchange.
Let's go. That's all he wants. He's getting his points up. Very good point getters.
Winky having to literally chase Bernard across the ring to try to get in a body shot. Hopkins walks away again. Now a counter right hand to the body by Hopkins as he suddenly plants and turns on Winky. That's really the Hopkins plan. Use his feet to make Wright anxious and take advantage of the anxiety. This has been an intelligent round for Hopkins, but he eats a left hand there.
Oh, stop. Step out. All right.
I'm not sure if Winky Wright actually just winked at Harold Letterman. I think he did.
Winky seems to be having lots of problems now. The movement of Bernard and twisting and turning and angles is beginning to bother him.
Round for you, Wink. Another good round. Just keep them hands running inside. Keep them numbers running inside like he's doing. He's not hitting with anything good or all bullshit, but you got to run the numbers back.
When he intentionally head
Friday, August 3, catch a replay of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories, a look at the Detroit Tigers' Gary Sheffield. He set off a media firestorm with his latest controversial comments. The slugging outfielder weighs in on the Yankees, Barry Bonds, and steroid allegations. And beginning August 8th, catch the return of Hard Knocks training camp with the Kansas City Chiefs. This 5-week series follows rookies and veterans alike. You'll see them behind the scenes, in team meetings, and on the field as they battle for roster spots and prepare for the upcoming NFL season. CompuBox numbers through round 7. Bernard Hopkins, 80 out of 347, less than 25%. Winky Wright, 99 out of 384, about 26 or 27%.
You're all right.
Wright looking at his right eyebrow now to see if that had opened up, as the left eyebrow has been open for several rounds, with occasional blood dripping on Winky Wright.
Stop. Let out.
Two of the most willing talkers in the sport. You spend time chatting with them the day before the fight. It's important to keep in mind that neither man has ever lost a round, much less a fight. and neither is going to think that he lost many rounds here.
You know, and I can understand that having watching both of these guys most of their careers, Winky since he was 17 even, I've never saw anybody really dominate either one of them.
All right, stop. Okay, you beat him. Okay, you're holding him. You're holding him.
Hopkins arguing with Bird about who is holding whom. It's clear that Bird's view to this point is that Hopkins is the primary offender in the holding department.
I got you.
Now Hopkins holds his left arm up as if to say, look at me.
They both fall into a clinch and then open their hands while they still clinch with their arms to show, no, I'm not clinching.
Both are two great fighters, both are my friends, but I see age from both of them tonight.
Well, 42 against 35.
Yeah.
And you're the one who said yesterday, Emmanuel, the 42-year-old guy is, to me, the younger fighter. But I get the impression he's not as young as you thought he was.
No, he's not looking as young. But Winky is looking a lot slower to him, lethargic himself, both of them. So it's like an even match now.
Both have had a lot of rounds. Neither has been a knockout puncher. Both are accustomed to constantly going the distance in their fights. It's a lot of work.
And both guys are fighting tonight. They're throwing punches the way they should do to win a fight.
Those are Hopkins' two best punches in a while. Sharp right hand and a quick left hook.
Hopkins has landed the hurting punches in this fight. Winky also has never walked around in the ring at this weight. He's never fought at 170 pounds, and I think that explains the kind of lethargic, or at least the slower pace that he's going at. His hands look slower. He just looks...
Well, and he's only the latest in a long line of opponents to learn that it's almost impossible to force the pace against Bernard Hopkins.
Yep, and then Bernard is moving still. He's giving him angles, as I said earlier. He's moving around and making Winky use his legs more than most of the fighters that Winky Wright fights.
Whoa, stop! I got you.
And every time they get close to each other, one or the other gathers the other in. And Bird has to keep coming at them to try to get them to break up. Crowd is frustrated. Fighters are frustrated. Referee's frustrated.
All right, come on, champ. You got to bite down now. Give me my piece.
He's tighter than you, champ. Trust me.
Breathe.
He's tighter than you. I'm 40, so I know he's tight. Keep working.
No problem.
No problem.
I'm not coming.
It's not a factor at all.
We good, Doc.
Here for you now.
See which way here.
Okay?
Don't blow your nose, Bernard. Don't blow it. Smart, baby. Smart.
Right? Right here.
I got you.
All right, you feint him. Now over here and right. Back with the hook to the body. You hear me? He's wide open for it right now, okay? He's ready to be taken.
Let's go.
Okay?
Go, Freddie.
Let's pick it up a little bit.
Go, guys.
All right? Combination. Let's pick it up. These guys dead.
That's smart box, Hop. Take your time.
Our bunch is connected through the 8th round. Hopkins has an edge here. 88 out of 342 to Wright, 59 out of 241. Harold Letterman gave the last round to Bernard Hopkins, narrowing his scorecard down just a little bit. We come to the 9th of a scheduled 12.
Let him out. Come out. There you go. Come on. There we go. Nice and easy. There we go. Don't push.
One reason Bird has been reluctant to assess a penalty point so far is that everybody knows this is likely to become a close fight on the scorecards, and one penalty point could swing the competition one way or the other. No referee wants to be the one who decides a fight between two fighters of this caliber.
You know, and that begs the question. Other than making some money here, what's the point of the exercise?
Well, you said it was for the light heavyweight championship of the world, Max.
Yes, I did, and yes, it is. But I'm thinking about Chad Dawson watching these two go at it right now.
That's exactly what I was thinking, too.
Well, one thing I'm pretty sure of, Chad Dawson's faster
Both of you guys,
and
watch
more
your heads.
physically vibrant.
In an old light heavyweight division, Chad Dawson is a young athletic star.
Well, and it's a mark of Dawson's anonymity to this point that for whoever the winner is, as they look for another big money fight down the road, the next matchup probably isn't in this division, but rather at 168. Or you might want to fight the winner of the fight between Joe Calzaghe and Mikkel Kessler coming up this fall. Particularly if it's Calzaghe, who has the bigger name and more money.
Step out. Step out.
The blood is really flowing now from above the left eye of Winky Wright. Do you think it's bothered him in the fight, Emmanuel?
Yes, I think it has bothered him. But, you know, both he and Bernard are real good veteran fighters, so I think they've learned how to, he can adjust and handle it.
Jermaine Taylor got a win over Bernard Hopkins here in Las Vegas in their first fight, with blood streaming from a cut on his forehead.
Almost anyone that fights Bernard stands a good risk of being cut, normally from a
Get off his
butt.
neck. Stop. Step out. Step out. Step out. Step out. Step out. Step out.
And you look at how Winky's face is shaped and the prominence of those eyebrows, you just knew that it was a very strong possibility here tonight.
Step out. Step out, Bernard. Step out.
It's not that it's the worst fight in the world either. These guys have produced some action, even if it's kind of awkward action.
I got stop.
But they're pretty evenly matched. It's difficult to score.
Next time you do that,
And they're clearly no longer in their prime.
And now Bird says that he's one more hold away from assessing a penalty point against Hopkins. And that would be a big event in the fight if it happens.
Stop.
Hopkins backing up, trying to get away from the hold, trying to avoid the penalty point.
We are in Tacoma, Washington, where tonight on Boxing After Dark, we'll bring you Vernon Forrest against Carlos Valdemir. 36-year-old Vernon Forrest, a former U.S. Olympian, has been beset by injuries over the last 4 years. He's had shoulder surgery twice and surgery on his left elbow, but he feels he is ready to return to top form as he vies for a 154-pound belt. Talking with trainer Al Mitchell, he'll be taking on Carlos Valdemir, 36 years of age, from Santa Fe, Argentina. Came out of nowhere last year when he upset Zab Judah to win the welterweight championship, then handled Arturo Gatti last summer before losing to Floyd Mayweather. Valdemir feels that he can make a statement and pressure Vernon Forrest tonight. We'll find out over the balance of 12 rounds here in Tacoma, Washington. Final preparations for Carlos Valdemir and Vernon Forrest still to come, but back to Hopkins and Wright.
All weekend here in Las Vegas, Marvin Hagler has been on the scene. One of the greatest middleweights of all time. One of the men against whom Hopkins constantly compared himself during his long reign over the middleweight division, his 20 consecutive successful middleweight title defenses. Where does Hagler rank in your middleweight pantheon, Emmanuel?
You may not believe this and go along with it, but I would have Marvin from middleweights. I rate him #1. I think he would have beat Monzon. Fred Robinson was mostly his great fights was welterweight. So you look, we just saw the middleweight fight because he was older then. But as a welterweight, Robinson was the greatest welterweight. But I think that Hagler would have beat Monzon.
Can't worry about it, Winky. Can't worry about it.
A beautiful shot of Las Vegas by night. Lots of great things going on outside the arena. The Bengals are playing at the beach tonight. And we return to the ring to find out if this burning is an internal flame. And as we get to the 10th of the schedule 12, Harold, how do you have it tonight?
Okay, Jim, 6 rounds to 3, 87, 84, Ronald Winky Wright. Jim, I don't know. I can't get myself to score a fight for a guy that holds constantly. I think Winky is scoring the better shots. Bernard is just faking it. He throws a shot and he grabs. You know, he makes it, he smiles, makes it look good. But the truth of the matter is that's what he's doing. Throwing a punch and grabbing. On the other hand, Winky's landed the cleanest shots. 6-3, Winky Wright.
That's one judge's opinion. Others may vary
I got you.
considerably from that view.
Just for clarification, Harold, are you saying that because there's not much to choose from, you're going to take the guy who's doing less holding?
Well, you got to watch it very, very carefully, Max. Basically, what you're scoring is that the guy that lands the cleaner punches is winning the round. I think Winky Wright is landing the clean shots. Bernard tends to come in, slap him, and grab him. On the other hand, Winky, right there, landed a real nice right hand. Winky's landed the cleaner shots.
And there's a left hand to finish that exchange by Wright. Hopkins is probably landing the more damaging blows when he lands his right hand or his little left hook inside. But they're not as easy to see. They come at very close range amid the grappling and the contact and the shoulder-to-shoulder that takes place when these two fighters get close to each other like that.
The way I score around is ask myself, who would I rather have been? as Hopkins plants the hook. And I'm not sure in most of these rounds who I'd rather have been.
I would not want to be the judge.
Go.
I'd rather be the lead singer of the Bengals.
Stop.
Less contact, no blood. You get to travel with women.
Let's go.
Hopkins with a good right hand there. Winky grins at him. They go back to grappling.
And at the end of this round, who would you rather be, Winky or Bernard in this round? I don't know. There's not a lot to choose from. Winky's moving his hands a little more and forcing the fight. Bernard is holding, but I feel landing the harder shots, in particular the right hand counter.
I think Bernard seems to be more focused, more alert mentally at this stage than Winky does. That's what I'm just studying the eyes.
Whoa, guy. Whoa.
Robert Byrd hasn't assessed that penalty point yet. 6 minutes left to go in the fight.
I got you.
There's still a lot of embracing going on in the ring.
We got 2 rounds, Wink. You got to run them numbers more. You got to leave it all here.
Leave it all here. You probably gave him that round. You did good. Leave it all, Wink. Hot boxing. How you feel, Tim? I know it's tough, man.
Use your legs and box a little bit. Don't just lay there. Don't just lay there, all right? Don't just lay there.
Don't worry about the referee.
No, breathe. Relax.
He's been using his head all night.
You're ahead, but you're gonna let him back in the fight if you give him these 2 rounds. We gotta have these 2 rounds. You're ahead in this fight.
Go to him with a little head movement for me, okay? All right, just don't walk right to him. Go with a little head movement, a little pace, okay? All right, open him up. Now, B, the body shot's gonna hurt him, and the head shot's gonna finish him, okay? I promise you, okay? Try that right. When you're on the inside, drop down.
Even though neither one of the guys are landing many clean blows that much, I think that Bernard is landing more precision, accurate punches, just like this combination of 2 right hands he landed here. But Winky seems to be a little bit more loose with his punches at this stage.
Average punches through 10 rounds. Hopkins averaging 12 out of 52. Wright averaging 14 out of 52. Hopkins probably landing, as Emmanuel just said, the harder shots. In other words, by CompuBox standards, it's a pretty even fight. Harold Letterman gave the last round to Hopkins, once again narrowing his scorecard.
Stop.
We're into the championship rounds.
I got you. I got you. Come on, you guys, both of you are jumping in. Now, come on, fight. Stop, I got you. Stop. Step out. Let's go.
Good right hand inside by Hopkins.
Step out. Go.
Wright with a chopping left hand over the top that made partial contact.
Come on, guys, I got you. Step out, bro. Watch your feet.
Boxing fans who may not have known Robert Byrd very well before will be seeing this referee in their sleep.
Step out. Watch your
Because
feet.
of his omnipresence in the fight. Necessary omnipresence. Hopkins' hands seem to have gotten faster in the last 2 or 3 rounds.
He's not really punching so much for a knockout. He's just trying to do enough little clean punches to get his points and then push it with his left shoulder so you can't punch back.
Crowd chanting D-Hop. You know, these guys are older and clearly no longer in their primes, but I don't know how much different the fight would look or how much different it would be on the scorecards had they met in their prime.
10 years ago,
Bernard Hopkins always kind of fought this way. He wasn't the prettiest fighter to watch. Effective, but not so pretty.
Stop. ahead, guys. You're tying up. You're tying up. You're tying up. Let's fight. I got you.
That's the way that Bernard is fighting to steal the decision.
Hopkins continues to lock up Winky Wright's right arm with his left. Robert Byrd continues to bend over backward to make sure that he doesn't contest the penalty point and decides the fight.
Looking for the bell.
We got 1 round to go. Does anybody know who's winning this fight?
Right now. This fight is even right now, Wink, I'm telling you. Only because he's running his hands on the inside. Come on, man, give me some room. What the fuck? Give me some room.
We need this right even.
Where's some water? Hey, Carol, give me some water. The fight is dead even, Wink. You've got to stay busy. You've got to get off first and work on the inside, Winky.
All right, now here. You're going to finish like a champion, okay? Thank you. All right? We're going to take the fight to him, work him down.
Last round, touch up to the ring.
Okay? All right?
Smug this guy. Confusion time. Last round. Don't even judge your dance.
Just take it to him. Okay?
Go back.
Come on. Exactly. Let him breathe in the side. Look easy, all right? Control. Combination.
Walk him down. He's done. You ever saw a fight in the park?
Within the past few rounds, you get a sense that Dan Birmingham in Winky Wright's corner is concerned about the momentum of the fight. Freddie Roach is pretty much always the same. Seems to constantly say the same things to his fighters in an even zone, regardless of what's happened in the ring. Copy box numbers through 11. Hopkins 138 out of 579. Wright 157 out of 571. Hopkins with an edge in power punches.
Step out, step out, step out, step out, step back.
Hopkins had the edge in power punches in both of his 2 losses to Jermaine Taylor. Blood begins to flow again from above the left eye of Wright. That's a deep cut that came from the butt in the second round. If either fighter has tired in the late rounds, it would appear to be Wright, who has not been landing as many sharp blows.
Winky Wright in 2 close fights that didn't go his way, a loss to Fernando Vargas and a draw against Jermaine Taylor, has been this era's sort of anti-Sugar Ray Leonard, where Sugar Ray Leonard in close fights where there wasn't much to choose between he and his opponent, stepped on the gas. Winky seems to decelerate slightly in the last round, enough to cost him what could have been some signature wins.
Well, his big argument against Fernando Vargas suffered from the fact that he threw 25 punches in the 12th round, and Vargas was credited with throwing 99.
The fact is, at this level, there's very little to choose from generally. Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, Winky Wright in this era, Bernard Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor. There's not much to choose from. You know, who's going to close the show stronger and just step on that accelerator a little more in the last round?
Wright is trying to let his hands go in this round, trying to throw as many punches as he's thrown throughout the fight. Hopkins is stepping on the gas.
Hopkins looks fresher, looks a little stronger, and that may impress the judges. Winky's punches are a little wide and sloppy, and he looks very fatigued, unorganized.
Again, the chant of B-Hop, B-Hop. Wright got in a couple body shots before they hugged again.
I got you, guys.
If Wright loses the fight, he and his corner are going to suggest that Hopkins should have been penalized for holding. And if Hopkins loses the fight, he's going to hold his hands up and say, how? Why?
Now, what about a draw? Like kissing your sister, which this fight,
they've done a lot of that.
Yeah.
Winky's form and composure is so bad here that it's going to be hard to see them give him this round.
I agree. And now we await the inevitable judge's decision. Was there ever any doubt it would go 12 rounds? Bernard Hopkins smiling and celebrating for the crowd on this side of the ring. Winky Wright in the corner with his group. Michael Buffer's ready to tell us if there is a winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Mandalay Bay, we go to the scorecards. Glenn Hamada, 116, 112. Dave Moretti, 117, 111. And Glenn Trowbridge, same score, 117 to 111. All to the winner by unanimous decision. And still, light heavyweight champion of the world from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Bernard, the Executioner